Chapter 2, Mishnah 13. The following Mishnah deals with the loss of Tuma, not nullification. It is included here only because of its similarity to Mishnah 11, where Rabbi Eliezer and the sages disagreed about whether to follow the last substance that fell in. The Mishnah discusses the case of a leather utensil, such as a shoe that was rubbed with oil to soften it. Much of this oil becomes absorbed into the leather, and some of it comes out again when the utensil is used and pressure is applied to it. For example, when a person wears the shoe and steps down on it. In the case the Mishnah discusses, the shoe was rubbed twice, once with oil that was tamei and once with oil that was tahor. The question is, which oil came out when the person wore the shoe? The Mishnah begins by giving two cases, one where the tamei oil was used first and one where it was used last. We now turn to the words of the Mishnah. If leather utensils were rubbed with tamei oil to soften them, thereby making them tamei, and then after being immersed in a mikveh to make them tahor, they were rubbed again with oil, this time with tahor oil, or the opposite. First they were rubbed with tahor oil, and then after the tahor oil had dried, they were rubbed again with tamei oil, thereby making them tamei, and then they were immersed in a mikveh to make them tahor, and then they were used, and some of the oil came out. The question is, do we assume that this was tamei oil that came out, or do we assume that this was tahor oil that came out? The ruling. Rabbi Eliezer says, I follow the first oil. The oil that was absorbed first is the one that comes out. Thus, in the case where the tamei oil was absorbed first, the utensil would become tamei. In the case where the tahor oil was absorbed first, the utensils would remain tahor. But the sages say, we follow the last oil. Thus, if the second oil was tamei, the utensil would be tamei. If the second was tahor, the utensil would be tahor.